This is the helpful art teacher with a quick how-to on how to design vintage three-dimensional shoe sculptures. This is a shoe sculpture by an 8th grader. What she did was she wrapped her foot in saran wrap. She positioned it like a high-heeled shoe. She taped the saran wrap, and then she coated her foot with plaster craft, and then popped the plaster craft shoe off of her foot. First, I'll show you how to cast your shoe, and then I'll show you how to add the heel later using tinfoil. My daughter and I went to a foot doctor, and they had to make a cast of my daughter's foot, so you can pretty much see the process here in the doctor's office. Only they did not use saran wrap on my daughter's foot, so her foot got a little dirty. So in the classroom, I highly suggest you use plastic wrap. One of the most important things is to smooth the plaster out continually as it dries. That gets rid of all the little holes and bumps, and it makes for a much neater appearance. And you could see the doctor is really going all out, spending a lot of time smoothing the plaster. And when it's dry, you can just pop the cast right off of your foot. But a lot of my students went too high up on the ankle, and when they came time to take the foot off, they actually had to cut the plaster at the heel. So you're going to see how we fix that. A lot of them were really upset thinking they had ruined their work. But there is actually a way to fix that. I also tried it, putting plastic wrap around an old shoe and then casting that with the plaster craft bandages, and that also works absolutely beautifully. As you can see, I have a perfect cast of my old shoe, and then you just pull the plastic out when you're done. Now on to repairs and modifications. All right, I just pulled this sneaker out of this mold, and the back is broken. So I'm going to show you right now how to repair it. Take a large piece of tin foil and you put it underneath the shoe like this with a lot of it hanging out. Wrap the tin foil around the heel carefully and securely. You fold the sides in, tuck them in, press them, and then you're going to do the other side. Now that you have the repaired shoe, you're going to shape it so it looks correct, and then you're going to cover the entire thing with another layer of the plaster craft. How to create a high heel. Got it? So you're making a heel. What you do is you take a really big piece of tin foil, construct the heel out of the middle of it. Okay? Try and make it wider than you think it needs to be, and flatten the bottom and get fatter as it goes up. Okay? Leave a lot of extra. You can always cut off the extra. Construction with tinfoil always works better if you have a big piece than a lot of little pieces. Put it here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap it around the shoe as tightly as possible. Again, you can always cut off the extra. You see how tightly I'm wrapping it? And I'm keeping that heel there, the basic shape that I want it. And you could do this over if you want a different shape heel, if you want a wedge or whatever. But the other thing you could do is you can build it up if you want a wider heel. Because in the 1930s, the heels were a little bit chunkier. But you could also keep it like this. But you see how deeply I'm pressing it down? Trying to smooth it. It's not going to be 100% smooth until you put the Paris craft on it. And then make sure it stands. And then you can go back in and reshape the heel and build it up actually using the Paris craft. You don't need to add more tinfoil as long as the whole thing is stable and it stands. Okay? This is the helpful art teacher, Rachel Wintenberg.